Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Class is back in session. We are here coming at you with Freshman Night at Runeterra Academy. My name is Tajgar, or Taj for short, joined on the desk tonight by Miles David, as per usual. Tonight, we are bringing you Elysium Esports versus Kronic Wheels. It's been an interesting matchup tonight. Both teams make up the bottom two of Freshman's Division 1, so this is going to be the start of a redemption arc for both of them, and I'm sure you are as excited as I am for it, aren't you, Miles?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of them will be the winners of this series. Am I right? So we'll have to see which one makes it to a 1-2 standing. But that's not what's important right now, because this is kind of the bottom of the barrel. What is important is the house standing, because these two are part of House Inferno and House Cloud, and those two houses are at the top of the leaderboard. So whoever wins this one has the possibility of shoving their house into the lead, and that'll be very important for when the end game comes.
Yep, and I mean, not to say that it's certainly not important for them to win tonight, because hey, I mean, whoever wins tonight goes 1-1, and so that could easily put them back in the middle of the pack and put them into contention to try to work their way up the steps. Quick note, if you're noticing, dear viewers, in the ban, how Elysium has not yet banned anybody. That's because they do have an emergency sub in their roster. It is Bear Boy Kale, their ADC. Due to his status as an E-sub, Elysium has lost their first 3 bans in both games, and we'll just have to see how much of an effect that will take on the game as a whole. And Kronic look like they're practically meme banning at this point with the Yasuo and the Yone.
To be fair, I think the mid laner of Elysium plays a lot of Yasuo and Yone.
Touche! That is his top 2 most played.
Yeah, there we go. So it is definitely a target ban. Definitely not a meme ban in any way. Riven getting taken out too. That's been seeing some good numbers in solo queue. They're in the top lane, so not surprised, especially if their top laner decides to is a Riven main. And look at Elysium going for the Shyvana immediately, first pick right out the gate. All right. This bit of a weird pick. Oh, Evelyn versus Shyvana. All right. So not really the most meta of junglers, I have to say. Of course, Rumble is usually the first pick of choice by competitive teams right nowadays. But at this level of play, if you are a freshman, just play what you're comfortable with. What's more important is that you learn to work together as a team. You're able to concentrate on that instead of learning to pilot your champion. So Shyvana versus Evelyn, interesting pickup in the jungler, and Fizz going towards that mid lane for Kronic.
That he is. So immediately two, backline threats there, as I'm sure Bear Boy does not want to come into close contact with either of these two champions that have been locked in for Kronic, the Evelyn and the Fizz. And we will see the Nunu locked in by Elysium after that. And you think that this was planned, or was it like, we see the Evelyn, we see the Fizz, okay, we got to protect the president, we're going Lulu?
I'd say it's a good response, honestly, when you see 2 assassins on the enemy team. But there's, of course, the danger that Lulu gets popped instead of the ADC, and it's going to be a Twitch. No Lulu Cog this time. It is a Twitch. Now, Twitch also kind of makes sense. If your ADC is not comfortable playing Cog, Twitch has this net of safety with the invisibility. And, I think he's probably a lot easier to pilot, and especially because he can ambush people. Lulu also synergizes really well with him, so not surprised with that. And it looks like it's going to be Ornn for the top lane, so weak side duty on the side of Kronic for Hypernova. This game, going to try to scale up, give his team some Ornn items. Ornn, the ever-reliable tank in the top lane. We'll see what bans Elysium decide to put in this time. They will have the Phase 2 bans at least, so possibly some safety for their solo laners. Going to target ban a few of what Kronic can pull out. And we'll see what they decide on.
Yep, we will see the Shen banned away by the side of Kronic. Shen is currently sitting at the top, tied with Tristana for the highest presence here down the Freshman League, appearing in 54% of her games, whether he is picked or banned. So certainly a high priority pick that is taken away off the table. Xerath lately seeing a resurgence in the meta. I'm honestly happy with. He's banned away. Annie, we banned away. And now we're just waiting on the last one for Elysium.
Listen, Taj, you may be happy with Xerath, but I don't think any other ADC player is happy with Xerath getting resurgence. Honestly, that support's really hard to play against if you aren't able to just dodge his abilities. Nami getting taken out as well, so they're trying to give themselves a good matchup in bot lane. Now, I'm assuming that's a target ban because I don't think Nami is a particularly strong counter against Lulu Twitch. Annie Ben, of course. There we go. The Church of LS is proud. It's you know how perfect Annie can be at this level of play. She's just super strong with all her CC and all her damage. The fact she can flash in with her Tiber's ult, multiple people can get taken down out of a fight immediately. So I understand Kronic's desire to ban that away. They will have the Tristana. I'm assuming this is going to go to bot because they already locked in their mid laner. So not too much flexing coming from Kronic. They don't keep their cards close to their chest. They're just throwing it out there.
Yep. I would say the same thing with the side of Elysium as well. You know, Shyvana, where's that going, except for jungle. Galio, we already have the Lulu locked in. Just so I can go in mid. Now the Mordekaiser will be hovered. A lot of magic damage coming out from the side of Elysium in there as they lock in the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Against a hyper tank like Orin. Okay, he just builds a bunch of MR. Then what can you do to him?
Yeah, basically. All right, classes in session, guys. Here's lesson number 1. Do not pick full magic damage on your team because it's super easy to itemize. Again, put some AD there. And you guys are probably thinking, but Sir Miles, there's a Twitch. Of course, he is the main AD. He's the main threat. But Twitch also has some AP scalings on his kit, so it's definitely a lot easier to itemize against this team than you would think. Possibly, get a Zed in there, get an AD assassin in there, maybe a Lucian or something in there. I think that would make Lucian's draft much better. On the side of Kronic, however, they are suffering a bit from the magic damage pain too, but they have Tristana. So it's a lot better when it comes to the balance between physical and magic.
That it is. Tristana will be wailing away with those auto attacks. My eyes will certainly be on the Evelynn and the Fizz getting to this game to see what sort of agency they can have in disrupting what looks like a rather well-arranged front-to-back team fight on the side of Elysium.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think,
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, Taj. I wanted to interrupt.
So I think that Evelynn and Fizz will be the X factors in these team fights.
Yeah, definitely. And they do have a bit of a hard job, honestly, getting towards that backline. There is a Lulu and a Twitch and a Galio and a Mordekaiser that they... Well, not the Twitch. They have to get through the Twitch. They have to break through the Galio, the Mordekaiser, and the Lulu in order to get to the targets. But, if Evelynn and Fizz can come from different angles, definitely that's something you can expect. That's something they may be able to use to break through the front-to-back team fighting. But, we'll see as the game pans out.
Yep. That's going to do it for us here in Champ Select. Elysium versus Kronic. We'll see how things turn out on the Rift as magic damage will coat it entirely. Stay with us. We'll get right to you after this quick break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on Summoner's Rift now, coming at you with Week 2 of the Freshman League here at Runeterra Academy. We have Elysium Esports going up against Kronic Wheels on blue side and red side, respectively. Both teams sitting at 0-1 on their season. Both of them looking to even things up and take this series tonight. And as we get into it, it looks like for the most part, a 5-point start across the board. Speaking of across the board, as we said in Champs, we have a lot of magic damage. But Miles, I would like to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you rather have full magic damage or full attack damage?
Honestly, that's a hard question to say. Magic resistance items are fairly weak in comparison to armor items because there's no really consistent magic damage threat unless you have like, let's say, a kill on your
Mhm.
on the enemy team or so. I don't know. I'll have to theory craft that a bit more. That's a nice question. That's a nice question to ask actually. But honestly, like off the top of my head, I probably would prefer all physical damage because of the consistent damage that could,
Mhm.
if you're able to just fight front to back, then you should be able to win out eventually.
Okay. Well, there's your expert advice coming in from Professor Miles David himself.
Nah, I'm just the janitor, guys. Don't worry.
Just a janitor. Okay. Hey man, you're the
Filling in,
old
I'm filling
janitor
in.
who's seen a lot, and people can still go to him
Yeah.
for some good advice. Okay.
Learn these kids playing their full magic damage. Back in
Alright.
my day.
Both junglers started on their respective bottom sides of the map. We'll see if they want to go full clear. Neither of them picking what is like, the standard meta, or what was the standard meta for a time. I think it has faded a bit of just pick your hyper clear junglers and get into the lane as quick as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more time for ganking junglers to form their plan of attack because back then you could just full clear, and then if someone ganks, you can just steal their camps. But because the camp respawn timers are longer, the ganking junglers have basically a window of opportunity to go in and try to help out their laners instead of farming all the time. But I'm not sure if we're gonna see that because Shyvana and Evelyn do kind of want to scale up and get to level 6.
Yep. Big trades in the top lane in favor of Aimi Furukawa. It just reminded me I should probably run through rosters. We'll do that in just a second. As he moves into, it looks like a deep ward set up in Kronic's red side of their jungle.
Ooh, really
Trash
good
is
trade
locked
there.
up in the mid lane.
Really good trade there from Asian. Or Asian Trash there in the mid lane. Now, if you're a Fizz, you want to get a high value E out of your trades. If you manage to dodge their abilities, hit the wave, and hit them at the same time, that's a really good value for the E. And that's exactly what's able to do to Cartson there. They are going for the fight.
Onto lands the E there because it comes the Electrocute and the Ignite. He's trying to stay on top of him. Flashes forward to secure the kill. First blood. Kronic, Asian Trash in the mid lane.
That's what I like to see. As someone who plays a lot of Fizz back in the day, wait, it's not yet
In
done.
the jungle, Total flashing away. Paladin will take the red buff. Will he take his life as well? He will. It's a very quick answer for the side of Elysium in the top side jungle of Chronic Wheels.
That was a very interesting flash by Amy there onto the top lane.
Yeah.
I think he should have just given that one to the jungler, save his splash for the 1v1 with the Ornn. Ornn, definitely a very versatile top laner. I'd say that you don't really expect too much damage from, but he ends up solo killing you anyway. So the flash could have been useful there, but definitely a good answer, at least from the side of Elysium. But very good solo kill by Asian Trash there in the bot lane, in the mid lane rather.
I'll take this quick moment, seeing as we're getting a couple fights going, to run through these rosters to help myself and us here on the desk, along with you guys that you're watching. We have Aimi Furukawa in the top lane, Paladin in the jungle, Cartson in mid lane, Bearboy Kale as ADC, supported by Eddie in the support role. Nova Hyper 34 in the top lane for the side of Kronic as he's taking this 1v1 against Aimi, forced to get out of there with Searing Charge. Total Todd, the jungler, Asian Trash in the mid lane, OB Seagull as the ADC, supported by only Dill 777 for the side of Kronic.
Yep. We did cast Kronic last week, so if you guys want to have your games cast, do it before, do the games before Friday, so
Yeah, good point.
you can have the replays. Don't want to give one team all the spotlight. Oh wait, there might be some action here in the mid lane, but I see you there, Carton, in the chat. This is basically a VOD review for you, I have to say. This is a replay, guys, so this is not a live game, which is why we don't have channel prediction points right now, because it can be easily spoiled by both teams. Now, we don't trust you guys, but, just to make sure, so everyone, don't lose their channel points and stuff like that. There's no problems there, but yeah. All right, so let's see what we got between these two teams. So far, everything pretty much stock and standard. There is a small lead on side of Elysium because of the resource they were able to get after killing the enemy jungler, but besides that, nothing too much to write home about just yet.
Yep, Total Todd was killed there and got an impromptu back. Was able to pick up just the Amplifying Tome and a Dark Seal. These things would certainly be exciting if he starts stacking up those stacks on the Dark Seal. Let's see. 11-10 CS lead in favor of the Galio. And I think you did say that you kind of like the Fizz into the Galio. Do you think this CS... And he got the first blood, but he's still behind CS. So, any thoughts on the state in mid lane at the moment?
Probably a bit of a bad time lane management, I would say, because I do think that you should definitely be in the lead CS wise if you do get the first solo kill. I didn't see particularly how that happened, but it is kind of sacrificing CS is something you honestly have to do as Fizz. Honestly,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be going for all the CS. You should be focusing on getting ahead with kills. Basically just pushing the wave, going to bot, trying to get fed that way because you're never gonna out really CS your opponent.
Yep, Trash is trying to get in. He does use ultimate onto Paladin. Ignite is taking away. Here comes his only deal to back up his mid laner, but Paladin has yet to die. Agent Trash forced to back away. Obese will rocket jump in, finds a kill onto Paladin. Charm comes out. Cartson fully locked up, but in comes Amy with the TP, backed up by his own ADC and support. He's locked in the death realm with Total Todd. Only Dale trying to lock down Bear Boy will not be able to do it as Amy finds a kill on Total Todd. Only Dale will fall as well. And looks like the fight has gone the way of Elysium Esports.
Okay, I was not able to see how everything broke down that way just yet, but that was a really good response, I'd say, from Elysium Esports to get to have it was a very impromptu fight, I'd have to say. I don't think both teams expected to just fight there immediately because they weren't even pushing over the objective yet. I think Fizz was just going down to go for a gank. Fortunately, it resulted in a few kills, and the fact that Fizz hasn't died yet, I think it's really good. But the Evelyn dying, definitely something like. Definitely, how do I put this? A setback to everyone. Yeah, suboptimal. There we go. And they're already trying to posture for the Baron. Wards are being placed down.
Baron? What?
Oh, sorry, the dragon. It's a slow morning for me, Thad.
Slow morning. Okay. Yep. This is the Ocean Dragon that is up, so we will not be getting that soul, which I'm sure would have made a decent difference in this game. We don't see a lot of there's a decent amount of burst coming out from the side of Kronic, but actually the Leona, the Ornn, and then the Galio and Mordekaiser would have loved an Ocean Soul. But it looks like that is not the way things will turn out. And the dragon has now been surrendered over to the side of Elysium with no contest.
Yeah, honestly, the Fizz was not in position to try and contest that, unfortunately. And they're just able to get it for free, basically. So I at least like the fact that they're not posturing over it. Not just a lot of teams will just watch the enemy take the dragon instead of like, all right, we're just gonna go get farm. We're gonna get side lane control. We know we can't get the objective. So a lot of teams will just watch the enemy take it instead of getting more control over the side lanes. Which Kronic did not fall trap to, which I'm happy to say, at least watching this game.
Yep. See, of note, neither mid laner took teleport. With Cartson's understandable. He has the hero's entrance. He can get to a lane, from the middle of the jungle. Asian Trash is going full kill priority on that Fizz with the Knight and the Electrocute. In comes Paladin, flashes forward, lands a fireball, trying to stay on top of Asian Trash. Chum the Waters comes out to peel for himself, and he is going to get out of there after having to use his own flash defensively.
Ooh, there we go. Nice target by nice backup by Paladin there, and I would say. Yeah, saving his mid laner at least. Careful, there is an Evelyn. I don't think she'll be able to burst the Galio right now, though. She still needs to get a few stacks onto her thing now. Talking about the itemization of the Fizz, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the prototype of the rocket. I'm still used to the old name, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, it is the rocket belt. It's the Hextech rocket belt. All right. I'd much rather that Fizz decides to go for a Leandry's or a Luden's Echo because he can do so much more damage with it. He doesn't really need to. He doesn't really need more gap close. It's a Fizz. He has all the gap close in the world with his abilities. So. I know. For me, I much prefer builds where Fizz decides to go for a Dark Shield where he can snowball immediately. And because Dark Shield just gives you so much value once you get kills, especially on a pick like Fizz. So definitely, Evelyn did get the Dark Shield. You get so much free stats if you get kills, and that's their objective anyway. So you might as well go for it. Yep.
Well, I mean, you do have to. It's risk reward with that Dark Seal. Sure, it's great if you get those picks, but if you're not getting those picks and you're just dying, it's literally useless. Total Todd will get engaged on by Paladin, flashes out to try to stay alive. Hero's entrance will catch up Ace and Trash for just a second. Charm comes through, but Total Todd is in the middle of the whole team. Last Caress will not secure a kill. Nova Hyper, what they call the Forge God, trying to peel for his teammates. Ace and Trash ticks away with that Darkness Rise, and a fancy schmancy chilling smite for the final blow.
Ooh.
Onto Asian Trash will give the kill over to Paladin.
Oh, really good collapse. I thought it was Paladin that was gonna be the one in trouble there with everyone converging on their location, but fortunately, teammates are there to back him up and they're able to do enough damage to the fish. At this point, Evelyn does not deal nearly enough damage yet to these tanky boys. The Galio and the Mordekaiser, we see how much value they have in these mid-game team fights, in these mid-game skirmishes. Ornn was not there to peel for his carries, and the fact that you have to kind of go in to deal damage against a Mordekaiser, it just feels bad.
Speaking of Mordekaiser, I'm just going to Nova Hyper, but Total Todd is here. The Charm is ready. It is proc. Let's see the Shred. I'm still has the Unbreakable ready to go. The shield comes out, and Nova Hyper is forced to back away. But
Yeah, if you had this ult,
continue this chase.
going for it.
Yep. Total Todd is brought low. This is a Mordekaiser dealing with. This could be tough. Imi is going to stay alive for the time being.
If he had this ultimate, I think that would have been a kill
Yep.
onto the Mordekaiser. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do it. Also, whoa, they might tower dive this. Carson, he's going in.
The party. He's going in. Shield of Duran. No taunt, no land, but out comes a fireball, and Nova Hyper is completely torched, and Total Todd will fall as 3 members of Elysium and the Rift Herald will all gang up on this top lane tier 1.
There's some really good movement around the map by Elysium, I'd have to say. The fact that they're using their champions to their full potential. The fact that Carson, roaming, doing a good job there, buddy. I know you're in Twitch chat. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. I thought it was a dangerous tower dive to take, but Giovanna was right there to back them up in case anything goes wrong. Nova Hyper, Total Todd, they can't really do anything in that situation. Fizz was way too far away to help. They will secure the first tower for themselves and the gold lead, already 4K for the side of Elysium, so good stuff from them.
Yep. And I mean, that's 13 minutes in. Rift Herald claimed in the first tower, already taken with full plating. So that is definitely, I would say, testament to some good macro play coming out from the side of Elysium. 20 seconds on the Mountain Dragon that'll be coming out. So we'll either see an Infernal or a Cloud Soul tonight. And the side of Kronic are looking to get some early setup here in this Dragon Pit.
It's really appropriate we get either Infernal or a Cloud Soul.
True.
Right?
That is
all right. Definitely. All right. So those people, House Infernal and House Cloud in the chat, make sure you support your fellow teams in the whether they're a lower class or an upperclassman. Definitely want to be cheering for them because in the end, you will benefit from it too.
Only Dill dies here.
And only Dill. Oh no.
Forced to flash away. Polymorph comes out, just trying to use some fancy footwork to get out of there alive. It will not work. Taunted and finished off by Carson. But there's a teleport coming through from Nova Hyper. Call the Forge Guard will knock up 2. It's the mid laner and support. In comes a Tristana to try to do some damage, but Paladin will finish her off in a second. Bear Boy KO brought very low, but not finished off by the Fizz.
Oh.
You don't like to see that. Nova Hyper will be killed, and it's technically a clean ace for the side of Elysium, though only Dill did just respawn.
Yep, that was a really good team fight by them. We can see how it's kind of unreliable when you decide to play a comp that wants a snowball. You have the Tristana there in the bot lane with the Leona. You have a Fizz in the mid lane. You have an Evelyn. Honestly, if you do want to go for a snowball comp, I think it's just better that you have someone who can be a lot more reliable as of a damage threat. Of course, Tristana can be that. She can be the hyper carry threat in the late game, but Twitch just has so much more support with the Lulu and the Galio peeling for them, along with the Mordekaiser doing a lot of damage in the front line. There's not much they can do towards these two main the top laner and the mid laner here. So, well, it's a really good showing from Elysium so far, and it's hard to barring some really big throw by them. It's hard to see how Kronic will get back into this game.
Yep, that was the Fizz in the back line, basically unperturbed, but I'm pretty sure he just got shot to death by Bear Boy, which does not bode well for the future.
Bear Boy barely survived, but he did. And that's what's most important. It really feels bad when you try to go for an assassination as an assassin, and your target just barely survives with a bit of HP, and then Lulu comes and shields him.
Yep. Might see some action in the top lane. There's a nice knockout coming for Nova Hyper. Total Todd will land the charm. Imi catches no one with the Death's Grasp. Did he use Death Realm? Yes, he did. He's all alone with the Evelyn. Trying to pursue. Nice flash from Total Todd over the wall. Will get away from the Obliterate. Imi just trying to get out of there alive. Won't find the kill quite yet on the Total Todd, but likely will here. Yes, he will. There's one kill onto the Evelyn. Nova Hyper trying to kill Conqueror is fully stacked, but it is not enough. Nova Hyper secures the kill. Third kill on the board for the side of Kronic Wheels.
That was really good coming from the Mordekaiser 1v2. Good stuff from Imi right there in the top lane. Unfortunate for the Evelyn. It's very hard to deal with the Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
As an Evelyn.
It's especially if you have to go in close. If they're able to kite him out, it would have been a lot easier to kill him. Unfortunately, this is an Evelyn and an Ornn. They kind of have to be close deal damage. Wait,
that
what?
Damage from the fireball. Only Dill to last alive, but not for long. It's a beautifully executed dive in the bot lane for the side of Elysium, taking out the ADC and support as Imi teleports in. Once makes something happen, Chum the Waters will miss up here in the top lane. Death's Hand will find both. Call of the Forge God will find the knock up. Nova Hyper forced to flash away to get out of that passive to try to stay alive. Searing charges backs in. He's going to pay for this with his life. Yes, he will. Asian Trash not able to finish off the kill just yet. And it will be a 1v2 double kill for Imi Furukawa in the top lane for the side of Elysium Esports.
In the words of the Baus FS, it's a disaster. They're in the top lane. They're just giving Imi these 2v2s again and again. I do think that if they want to fight this Mordekaiser, if they really want to... Wait, there's a duel in the mid lane? Alright. Right, I'll make it out there. But if they do want to fight this Mordekaiser, they have to send in Tristana up there to be the one to deal kiting damage. Otherwise, he can just easily 1v4 with all these melee champs on the side of Kronic. It's just an unfortunate reality right now. This Mordekaiser is so far ahead. He does have his magic resist boots too. So this is one of the highest value magic resist boots ever right now.
Yep.
He's able to dodge so much damage from the enemy team. There's nothing they can do against it. Man, Nova Hyper, he's in trouble right now. He has to get to 16 before he can really start scaling with his Ornn items. But the question is, will Elysium even let them get there? Wait,
Dragon Form comes out. The Fireball will bring Total Todd very low, but it's not enough to kill. Paladin will fall. Imi, however, will finish off Total Todd. And look at that damage on the Tristana. Look at this. Will this be the 1v5? Death Realm has come out, I believe. Not yet. Asian Trash is trying to get away. Chum the Waters will be used to provide some peel. Here's the backup. He's continuing the chase. Only Dill is one hit. That's going to be a double kill for the Mordekaiser. Possibly make that 3. No, it will not be. Carson takes that kill. But Imi Furukawa is carrying the entire weight of his world on the shoulders with ease as we see him survive a 1v5 in the jungle.
You're feeling so good right now if you're the Mordekaiser. The fact that the enemy team has to walk into you, you're loving that right now. Yeah. Even Tristana has to jump in. So not really a hyper carry right now with the range that she's got. Unfortunately, got caught by the Mordekaiser. People have to start building QSS in order to avoid the Death Realm. Otherwise, it's kind of impossible to just fight him. And right now, Amy is basically, as you said, she's carrying the entire team. And right now, if you're on the side of Elysium, you're breathing a sigh of relief for the AD carry right now. Because you just basically have to be in lane, farm up, let your top laner be the carry, and just show up when the big team fight starts and be there when the objectives are there.
Yep. You know, Imi's like, yo, I'm playing strong side this game. It's like, the jungler's like, wait, really? But I'm playing bot. He's like, I decide. I will make myself strong. Alright.
Well, your strong side of the enemy keeps... It's like right now, Kronic are basically hitting a brick wall with their head. It's just not working out for them right now. Oh, wait.
Last Crest will miss onto Bear Boy, and he's going to get out of there alive, having expended both summoner spells, however. That was just aggressive positioning coming up from him.
Alright, so that's an opportunity, of course, for them to be able to get on top of Bear Boy again in the future. The question is, who's going to deal with the Mordekaiser?
Through. Bear Boy is back here with a second visit to the bot side jungle of Kronic Wheels. Will take out OB Seagull. Only Dill next on the menu. Solar Flare buys sometimes. In comes Paladin. Misses the fireball. That's big. Carson on a rampage. He is tying up the back line. Finds a double kill for himself. Asian Trash finished off with a snipe from downtown. Wow. Paladin with the fireball. 4-man dead for 0 for the side of Kronic. And Elysium is running away with this.
This is one of the biggest smashes I've ever seen right now from a team. And just the fact that they're able to have all this magic damage, they have all this burst, and there's nothing the enemy team can do about it because they didn't snowball the game during the early game. It's just an unfortunate fact right now. 25-4 It's a 13,000 gold lead. 20 minutes into the game.
Okay,
Honestly,
Call the Forge God will catch one with the knockup, but Nova Hyper is all out in front with no support. Out
there's
comes
a
the
chance.
Wild Growth onto the
There's a chance.
Mordekaiser, and that is scary. He's standing in the middle of it all. He wants it to be nowhere else. Bear Boy will find a kill, as will Paladin.
oh,
Double kill for the Twitch, and Asian's Trash is the last
Poison.
alive.
all right. So this game's kind of over right now. I'd have to say, honestly. No beating around the bush. This game is kind of over with the way everything played out. Really kind of a smash by Elysium. They should be able to end the game with this push, unless Asian Trash goes with the heroics.
Nope, nothing will happen
Yeah,
there.
he got taunted.
He went Night Harvester this game, so at least he didn't make you unhappy by going the Rocket Belt.
Yeah, I still think Liandry's or Ludens would have done a lot more damage, especially to this Mordekaiser who's getting just extremely strong.
Only
But-
though goes in, but we'll find nothing but his untimely demise. Nexus is open. It's Paladin beating away at that. Trying to pad some stats. Maybe Total Todd will go down to Paladin. Obi Seagull follows as well. Double kill for the jungler. And Nexus falls with Elysium taking the most convincing victory we've seen yet this season.
Yeah, that was a smash and a half basically from Elysium. Really a good showing by them. And come Kronic, that's something you really have to be able to recover from. I don't know. I think possibly a change in plan might be in order unless they're really able to, unless they really decide on going with the snowball type of team comp. That's what they want to run. But they have to really be able to play the early game super well. They have to get an advantage there. Otherwise, they just get outscaled, and there was just no way to deal with the Mordekaiser on their side.
Yep. I did get a correction in the chat. Thank you for letting me know. It is not Amy Kuru. What was it? I'm already forgetting. It's not Amy Furukawa. It is Aimi Furukawa.
Okay,
Taking Japanese. I should have known that. But
by the way, if I had to give an MVP, it probably goes to Ivy.
Oh,
He played that Mordekaiser
yeah,
super
no,
well.
no question. Did so much for himself or herself. It's Mordekaiser. I would just say he. I literally 1v2 top lane right after taking me back in, and that was basically the start of it all. And that was like the first
pretty much.
glimpse we saw of his.
His success, basically. I mean, Elysium basically played well as a team. They played super well as a unit, but we of course award the flashy plays here in Runeterra Academy. So Mordekaiser, you get the default MVP. Let's go.
All right. So that's the end of game one there. Elysium Esports will take it with what seems to be relative ease. They're going to lead the series 1-0, but Kronic will still have a chance for the reverse sweep. We'll get into that right after this short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freshman Night in Week 2 of Runeterra Academy season. We're here after a smashing victory by Elysium Esports over Kronic Wheels. They have now switched sides. Elysium will be on the red side, Kronic on the blue side, I believe. That's what we're seeing in draft. We saw a lot of magic damage coming out, particularly from one member of Elysium, that being the Mordekaiser, Aimi Furukawa. Do you have any idea, Miles, as to what Kronic might be looking to change this game to try and extend the series to the third game?
Honestly, it might be fundamentals that are lacking from Kronic instead of just like picking the right champions for the right job. Sure, it would help a lot if, they have a way to deal with the Mordekaiser. I think if they sent the right people up there, they would have been able to deal with Aimi a lot better. We got the pronunciation right this time. Thank you, chat. Yeah, so maybe if they lane swap their ADC as soon out the top lane as soon as Mordekaiser starts becoming a problem, and letting Ornn play the 2v1 game in the bot lane where he'll last. I think he'll last a lot better in that regard. But still, new game in the series. Just take your mind off the loss that happened. This is a fresh start, so hopefully Kronic will be able to bounce back. We'll have to see. Elysium, though, they really come out swinging. They came with a really solid map play, using the Galio to its full utility, I'd have to say, and doing a lot of good work with it around the map. And that top side was really scary for them. So we'll see what Kronic decides to do in order to adjust their pick and ban, or to be able to deal with that. Maybe they'll decide to ban the Mordekaiser. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it come through. Just a quick reminder to the audience that Elysium, due to the fact that their ADC is an E-sub, emergency substitute, they have lost their first 3 bans in both Game 1 and this Game 2, and in Game 3, should we arrive there. But that did not seem to make any difference at all last game.
Yeah.
Kronic
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
They don't ban the Mordekaiser, but it seems like they're assuming that if that's what Aimi can do in Mordekaiser, they do not want to see Aimi on their main. So they will ban the Riven, the Yone, and the Yasuo once again.
Yep. Very good stuff from them. Or at least no adjustment. So I guess they do have a plan to deal with the Mordekaiser if it gets picked again. We'll see what they do. And, talking about subs, if you're the sub for Elysium, you're basically living the life right now. With that strong of a top side in the last game, Twitch was just basically chilling down there in the bot lane, able to farm up, get stronger that way. No one was basically giving him attention because how much pressure Aimi was exerting there in that top lane. We'll see if he'll be able to do the same thing, or if maybe Kronic can fight back. They are going with the first pick Ornn this time. Honestly, if you're blue side, you really want to go with the powerful pick, I'd have to say. And Ornn, I don't think it warrants a first pick in blue side, but if they're comfortable with it, go ahead. I just think they're, better champions you can first pick, because Ornn can be picked later into the draft. I don't think anyone's gonna ban that, or
Yeah. Shyvana will be the first pick once again for Elysium, followed by the Twitch. So, last time we saw the Shyvana followed by the Lulu, but that was in response to Kronic picking 2 assassins as their red side first 2 picks. So things have remained the same for the side of Elysium, and honestly, I'm not surprised. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see similar things come out from them. The Lulu will be taken away, however, by the side of Kronic.
Good adjustment from Kronic, taking away the Lulu from Twitch. I think that will allow them to easily go for a assassination onto the Twitch. Of course, there are still lots of picks. Lulu Kog'Maw. Okay, Kronic going for the late game strat. Really, this time with the Ornn, Lulu Kog'Maw. They're kind of showing their hand a bit early, but Lulu Kog'Maw is a very strong combination. They can play very well. They can, scale super hard in that late game by that time. And Kog'Maw, once he gets to that late game, is going to be doing tons of damage to the enemy team. The question is whether he'll survive. Mordekaiser being picked up again. All right. It looks like Elysium are just running it back.
Yep. No reason not to. But yeah, like you said, Kronic will be focused on that late game, which is basically opposite of what we saw last time, because we saw him pick the Fizz, even the Tristana, the Evelyn, and so these snowbally sort of champions. But it looks like Kronic want to buckle in for the long run this time, lock in that Lulu and Kog'Maw.
It makes sense that they would decide to ban away the assassins this time, because they don't have the Lulu on their side, probably not comfortable on something like a Karma. I'd have to imagine that they decide to just immediately ban out the assassins. We need some safety for the Twitch, because Twitch is right now extremely vulnerable. If there's no one feeling for him, they could just decide to dive that bot side over and over and over again. Looks like Elysium also recognized that Kronic is going for a more team fight focused style, and they immediately get rid of the Sejuani. Makes a lot of sense. She's a decent jungler right now. I wouldn't say completely top tier, but definitely a good team fighter that you'd like to have on your team. So it makes sense that they just get rid of that. We'll see what the final ban is. Galio getting taken off the board. Gotta say, Cartman in Twitch chat, Cartman, you on that Galio? Good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, kudos to Cartson on that Galio. We did see, we're praising Aimee's Mordekaiser so much, but we did see some early plays come out on that top side from Elysium, which really helped set up Aimee to literally 1v5 later in the game.
That's pretty much that's true. That's true. Basically, I have to say, Taj, Galio is a very, I'd say, very strong pick in competitive because of his global ultimate. That's why Shen is so popular, because of how they can just affect the entire map at the drop of a hat. So definitely a decent pick. The fact that Cartson's able to play it gives a lot of leeway for his team to play around that. And Anivia getting picked up, is that support Anivia? It could be. I've seen it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it goes mid lane.
Most likely. At the very least, hey, they're diving on the Twitch. Okay, literally just press R on top of your Twitch and try to land a stun, and you're literally peeling for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which would be the case if you're a support, though. We'll have to see where they do want to take this Anivia. Silas being locked in for the side of Kronic. That will be going mid lane. Volibear for the jungle.
I like this Volibear pick. I do like the Silas pick too. There's some decent ultimates for the Silas to steal from. Or yeah, he could steal the Anivia. I'm not sure if it's too valuable. He can only use one set of the Anivia ult. And he has to place it correctly, otherwise, he can't use his ultimate again. The Mordekaiser, he can choose to steal it too. Vel'Koz being picked as the support, I'm assuming. Okay, so definitely we have to see some happy feet from the Kog'Maw and the Lulu to be able to dodge that mage support. Twitch does not have any protection besides the Anivia, maybe. So Shyvana wants to dive in, Mordekaiser wants to be in the front line, Vel'Koz is going to be in the back line with the Twitch. So, if Silas can get to the back line, if Volibear can get to the back line, that's a lot of damage. Orange just has to stay, has to be the brick wall for Lulu and Kog'Maw. So, we have a decent team comp for both sides, I have to say. Well, Elysium, I kind of question it a bit, but I guess if they're comfortable playing Twitch and Vel'Koz down there in the bot lane, then good for them.
Yep, yeah, I mean, comfort picks. That's why I was seeing the Shyvana, and it worked pretty well last game. So, honestly, take what you're good with, not what everybody is supposed to be good with. So that's to be it for us here in Champ Select, as Kronic are looking to make a big rally after their loss in that first game of the series. The winner of the series will even up their record 1-1. The loser will take the bottom spot in Freshman's Division 1, sitting at 0-2. So honestly, it's still early in the season, but it's still, what happens tonight could kind of dictate.
You don't want to be last place.
Yeah, the path of the rest of your season. And you always want to get some bonus points for your house. House Cloud represented by Kronic, House Inferno represented by the side of Elysium. So we'll have to see what they can get accomplished in the second game, which we will bring to you right after this short break. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen, for the second time tonight. We're coming at you with Freshman Night here in Week 2 of Runeterra Academy's regular season. We have the side of Elysium Esports on the red side, leading this current series 1-0. Side of Kronic Wheels on the blue side, looking to make something happen after a we'll call it monumental, but a very smiting loss in that first game.
We're running out of adjectives to describe how bad how big of a smash
the caster's life. Just
was.
test your vocabulary list of adjectives. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
And speaking of running out of things and only sticking to one thing, a lot of magic damage on the field once again.
Yep, definitely. We'd have to say. I mean, if this is their comfort chest and they say just go for it, what matters right now is the skill anyway and the way you're able to play together as a team. And I have to say, I do like Kronic's team comp a lot more than Elysium. If I'm just saying, Taj, if I was the Twitch in Elysium and I see this in solo queue, I'm dodging.
I'm about to head out. Yep.
I'm telling you right.
I mean,
now,
Mordecai's are ults. Okay, where's your front line? Hey, he's doing what he's supposed to do. We ult somebody, and it's like, and he ults one member of. Let's say Silas gets in a rough spot and you don't want him diving your Twitch because your Twitch has no peel. Okay, your Mordekaiser brings their Silas to the death realm, and there's literally still an entire front to back left on the side of Kronic, going up against the 4 minus the Mordekaiser on the side of Elysium. And it's like, how do you win that?
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, I have a feeling we'll see it answered in this game on what the response will be. Some good stuff already from good trading by Nova Hyper. He knows that you probably won't get priority against a Mordekaiser if you're an Ornn, but that's not your job. You're just playing weak side. You're just trying to scale up, trying to get as much gold as you can. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out as big of a disaster as it was in Game 1, where IME just basically snowballed completely out of control and there was nothing they could do to stop him. But now they do have the range of the Kog'Maw at least, and they do have a few tools to at least fight back in the early game. Volibear is extremely strong in the early game, of course. Should be able to take care of the Mordekaiser before he becomes too big of a problem. And in the late game, Mordekaiser will just get kited to death.
Yep, that's the plan at least. We'll have to see how things turn out. Seems like a standard start all across the board. Though of note, Tototod did take his red buff and then immediately passed toward his top side. And looks like it might pay off here. Forcing the flash out of IME, flashes to stay on top of him as well. First blood to Nova Hyper.
There
on
we
the side
go.
of Kronic Wheels.
Kronic fighting back there in Game 2. First blood to the top laner. Nova Hyper definitely going to be happy with that. Should be able to keep the wave in his favor and should probably back right now in order to gain tempo. I'd have to say. He's not backing. Oh, man. He should back, honestly, and TP back into the lane. He should have a lot of tempo, and Mordekaiser won't be able to do much if he manages to freeze the lane. Decides not to do that. Oh, wait. Stun connects.
Abduct will land onto Carts, and now... Okay, I've heard say that Anivia is a very annoying champ to go against as an assassin. Silas is not your default assassin, but he's still that kind of, like, you have your big burst combo. But, land your big burst combo, then Nivea, she's coming back. And you have to do that whole thing again if you have it. So I think it's a decent matchup there in the mid lane for the side of Elysium.
Yep. And this is what I mean. Like, right now, Ornn is on the back foot because he didn't back. And technically, Mordekaiser is an item ahead. And he will be a level ahead soon because of the shared EXP.
Yep.
So...
It's action in the bot lane. Edie's brought very little. BC will flash forward, try to find the kill. Yes, he will! Now it's a polymorph and a knockup and full lockdown of death for Bear Boy Kale. And it's a good start for the side of Kronic Wheels.
Yep, Kronic Wheels doing a good job ganking the weakness of Elysium, which is that bot lane. There is no peel. There is no way for them to get away from sudden Volibear charging at their face. Sure, Vel'Koz can flash, but he immediately flashed and just got flashed on by the Kog'Maw. Now, if the Kog'Maw is flashing into you, that's you're in a bit of trouble for the enemy team. All right, Ornn is backing right now, and he gets stopped, and that's gonna lose. He's gonna lose a lot more tempo in top lane. He should have backed a lot earlier. Nova, why are you doing this to me, my boy?
Is your top laner's heart hurting right now?
Yeah, I've been in this situation before, honestly, but definitely something one avoid because tempo is extremely important. If he was given a free move and basically did nothing with it, and by free move I mean you can push the wave or at least keep it in a favorable position to your lane, back, then teleport back in.
Here we go. Play just going in. He's jungler brought low already. Here comes Amy with the TP. We'll see if he can keep up his legacy of domination. It will be Total Todd falling. That's a jungler down for the side of Kronic. Ace and Trash will likely follow here as well. Ignite is taking away. Finish off by 80. Amy still alive. It will be the dragon taken by the side of Elysium. And just as it was a quick start in favor of Kronic, things have immediately fallen apart in this dragon pit. All 5 members die. That means it's an ace for the side of Elysium Esports. And that's just painful to watch.
Yeah, that was very painful to watch. That's kind of a disaster if you're on the side if you're on the side of Kronic. I'm not sure why they didn't decide to go for the dragon a lot earlier. Once they got the kill on the bot lane, they could have definitely been able to do that. Instead, it turned into a 5v5 that they just weren't prepared to deal with. And Mordekaiser was first to the move. He was able to be first on the field instead of Orin, who teleported late. So basically a 5v4 there, and it was a very messy team fight. And if you are on the set, if you are Kronic with this kind of composition, you want to be able to fight front to back, right? You don't want the team fight to be spread around where the Twitch is basically in the middle, free firing everyone, and no one's focusing him down. And it's just unfortunate positioning. The formation just wasn't there for the side of Kronic.
Yep, they paid the price. They're still Elysium is still only sitting at about 500 gold lead because we did see the first. I was gonna say we saw first blood go to the side of Kronic last game as well, and things were looking good for them. But then things suddenly turned south, though not as sharply as they just did this game. So we'll have to see Kronic have to recover from this in some way.
I mean, it's pretty bad when you lose the dragon and you get aced on the first fight. Oh wait.
Here comes a gank into the top lane. Nova Hyper does have ultimate ready to go if he wants to peel. No flash, like you said. Will retreat to the safety of his tower. Fortunately, Paladin did not have ultimate, or else that Fireball may have done a lot of work. In the bot lane, there's more actions. B Seagull is brought to below half health. Bear Boy not able to find the kill with the Contaminate. B Seagull will just barely get out of there. And a lot of fights happening with no ultimates. I think that's the thing that would have sealed the deal on a lot of these. But
yeah. I think Twitch could have honestly just flashed for that and gotten the kill.
And I'm surprised Paladin will try to stay on top of Nova Hyper, but it's not going to happen. But it looks like the kill will be safely delivered over to Amy, unless that's going to be the kill. Call Forger comes out, but it is too late. Amy forced the flash to get out of turret aggro.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that still.
Yep, kill on the top lane for the side of Elysium.
Yep, I mean, as long as you're getting stronger and stronger for the Mordekaiser, that's a really... The new Mordekaiser skin is really something.
Honestly,
I gotta say.
I think the EQ animations look like they take way too long. It looks like they
really
take. Yeah, it looks like the spell like the channel animation for the spell looks longer than normal. I don't know.
I'm just a big Gundam fan, so the mecha is definitely.
I mean, it looks cool, but it's
just... wait, Gank here in the bot lane.
Here comes Obata coming in. Will land the stun onto Eddie. That is a Vel'Koz. He has no mobility whatsoever. He's going to
no
fall.
flash.
And
no flash.
Yep. His only source of mobility.
So good punish by Total Todd there in the bot lane, making sure to gank while the bot lane is pushed up. And the bot lane of the side of Elysium not respecting the fact that there could be a charging polar bear coming at you from a mile away. So definitely something to keep in mind. It's the second time they got gank.
Yep.
So gotta keep that vision score. Gotta keep that vision up. If you're trying to push, make sure you have some wards up to make sure that you don't get ganked. Otherwise, that could happen. So.
Yep. And speaking of ganks, which actually Paladin will not be able to stay on top of Ace and Trash. Carson was literally out of mana there, so unfortunately could not provide any sort of setup. I think that will allow... Oh, there's at least a Dark Harvest picked up for Paladin's troubles, but Ace and Trash will survive.
You'll still take that if you're Paladin. Honestly, you got something off the gank still. You're pushing the lane. Okay, good stuff. This is what I see a lot. This is good stuff from Paladin. The fact that he's pushing the lane while his mid laner's backing, allowing the wave to reset, so the mid laner doesn't really lose any CS, and the opposite mid laner loses a lot.
Total Todd, there's a flash forward, but he has no support. How come the Stormbringer? He's going to try and stay on top of Paladin.
Wait, he has support.
Sky Splitter will not land, but there's the Frenting Maul. I'm ringing off these ability names like no tomorrow. Okay. We'll find the kill. I don't. Do you think that was worth a flash?
I mean, you'll take those, honestly. At this point, whoa, there's so
Fair
much
point.
damage onto the Kog'Maw.
Whoa. Wild Growth comes out with no ignite or anything ticking away.
There's the Twitch poison. That was the
Okay.
yeah. And there's poison.
Does Twitch poison still tick after he uses his E?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It's a passive stack, so it will still Twitch. It will still tick as long as the poison stacks are there. So
Okay.
it makes sense that Lulu, just to play safe, make sure the ADC doesn't die, because Kog'Maw is basically the your main damage source eventually in the late game. So keeping that Kog'Maw safe, but Bearboy is really going aggressive with the search along with the Vel'Koz. They're going in. They're not afraid to just push in and start attacking the Kog'Maw. They're getting a lot of priority. Winning lane, actually. This switch, 66 CS to the Kog'Maw's 41. So, despite the fact that it is a Vel'Koz and Twitch, Kog'Maw is the one on the back foot in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I mean, Bearboy did come out of that. I believe it was that a disastrous team fight down near Dragon Pit for the side of Kronic. Bearboy did come out of that with 2 kills and 2 assists. So he is sitting very pretty at the moment. Only finished at Noon Quiver, but I think that was on his back after that dragon fight. So, I'm sure he has plenty of gold stocked away. Unfortunately, since it's a replay, Headmaster Red, why did you not show me individual gold at this exact very moment? You should have been able to predict that I wanted it. My goodness.
Yeah, SMH.
Goodness.
SMH, Okay, another fight in the bot lane. They have to retreat. They just don't have the damage right now.
There's some trades coming through. And a bear once again coming through. Flash forced out from Bear Boy. The chem tank will pop to land a slow. But there's plenty of slows coming out from the side of Elysium as well. And Total Todd will be forced to call it off.
Yeah, they could decide to just push the wave in immediately and dive the enemy turret. There is an ultimate on that volley bear.
Yep.
I think that's the play, honestly. Wait.
Aiden Trash goes in. Carson has passive ready to go. Keep that in mind. Some big damage coming through from the QE combo on that Anivia, but Carson is still out of mana.
Yep. So I mean, if you're in Anivia, honestly, that's basically your life right now. Carson did not buy a tier, curiously enough. I think he definitely should.
Ooh. Paladin will find the kill onto Nova Hyper in the top
Carson's
lane. Anivia is being resurrected. Total Top to find the kill. Sitting 2-1-3 on that volley bear. So they're at least able to answer in that mid lane.
Carson, please buy a tier next time. Thank you. Okay.
No,
you need the mana? You need the mana, man. Yeah, you can delay. Honestly, the major itemization right now is pretty bad, so I don't blame him for deciding to go for his mythic first. But definitely buy a tier if you're a mage. You do need the mana in order to be able to survive. I think if you had this ultimate there, would have been able to survive that gank pretty easily.
Amy has Riftmaker ready to go. This might get ugly for the side of Kronic Wheels. There's 1 kill already onto A's and Trash, but now it's a 1v2. Can Amy pull it off this time? Brought solo. I think he already used his shield. Yes, he did. And a kill coming through from Nova Hyper, following a gank from both the jungler and mid laner of Kronic Wheels.
That's still a 1-for-1, and he got the stacks out of Silas, so that's definitely worse. That's definitely worse. The Dark Seal stacks not being there, of course. Someone has to pick up the farm, and there's Anivia. Very good lane assignments coming. Oh, wait, the tick.
Oh!
No!
At the very last second, it will be Bear Boy finding the kill with that DOT
no.
onto Seagull. And hey, there's the answer to my question earlier.
Only Dill did not shield him in time. I thought they were healing.
There's the abduct landing onto Paladin, but you will use Dragon Form to get out of there safely. First 2 dragons have been claimed by the side of Elysium, which is, great news for your Shyvana. Rework her passive, please. I still don't really understand how it works. It'll be Ocean and Ocean and Cloud dragons taken. Infernal Soul will be on the rope.
So we had the Cloud Soul last game, and now we have an Infernal Soul this game. Very appropriate.
Hey-o.
Very games cooperating with us right now here in Runeterra Academy. That's good to know. But right now, on the lead is Elysium. 4,000 gold lead for them. And just have to say all the skirmishes going their way. Eddie might be in trouble, though.
Beautiful double knockup, however. Forced to flash.
Yeah.
There.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Something Lance. What's Lulu Q? Glitter Lance, I think.
Yeah, the Glitter Lance.
Yeah.
The Glitter Lance.
Slow.
Awesome. All right, makes sense because there's so many gap closers on the enemy team. There's a Volibear, there is a Silas, so you want to get out of there as soon as possible. I really think you could have picked a better support, but right now it's working out, and Twitch is pretty much winning the lane. So results-based analysis says go Vel'Koz Twitch every time, guys. I'm just kidding, don't do that.
Yeah, do that if you want to. If you want.
I mean, if you're good with Vel'Koz, if you're like really good with Vel'Koz, then sure, go ahead. Definitely go Vel'Koz. I'm just saying that most of the time going Vel'Koz Twitch is not optimal because of we saw Volibear just basically one-tapping them. So I'd say the Vel'Koz Twitch did not get punished enough in this game. Yep. They're able to basically do what they want.
All right.
Wait,
they're out for blood up here in the top lane. It is Aimi all by his lonesome. Death Roam is used on Agent Trash.
Saz is dead.
And will he? Flashes away to try to get out. Eddie is here to back up his top laner. Out comes the ultimate life form disintegration ray. Wild Growth to try to keep Nova Hyper alive, but that means only Dale cannot use it on himself, and he will fall. It is Aimi once again sitting in a dominant position up here in this top lane.
Man, someone stop this Mordekaiser. He keeps going. It's basically he's living the meme, call an ambulance, but not for me. That's basically Aimi in a nutshell this series.
Okay, Total Todd wants to force this issue, but Vel'Koz is still here to back him up, and it looks like he will pay for it. Total Todd falls. Nova Hyper doesn't want any part of that, and I think that was just a greedy play there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a desperate play than a greedy play.
True.
Honestly, Vel'Koz being there did not help things, and Aimi almost back to full health. So this is the power of the Riftmaker right now. The Riftmaker did get buffed, so Mordekaiser is a lot more viable right now. AP Bruiser is still kind of in a bad spot regarding itemization, but if you're this far ahead on the Mordekaiser, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, with that Riftmaker, you're just going to be doing so much damage, and once you get a Conqueror all stacked up, you'll get the healing back from your own passive and the Riftmaker damage, and won't be surprised to see another legit 1v5 come out as Obisigo is brought very low and forced to flash and heal to try to get out of there. Total Todd locked up in this Anivia R. Just going to walk out very quickly. And that is 4 turrets taken by the side of Elysium.
Yeah, this Kog'Maw was put very far behind. 66 CS to Twitch's 95.
Oh, goodness.
What happened in that lane to cause such a disparity right now? Wait, Twitch has to get out of there.
Trash did steal that Shyvana ultimate, trying to make something happen, and Cartson will roll off himself. You hate to see it. There's going to be the kill going over to Ace and Trash as well.
Cartson, my boy. Not like this, my friend. Oh, that was so sad to see. He could have gotten away from that, honestly. If he had not misclicked, I'd have to assume. Carson, are you there? Tell me if you misclicked.
All right, but hey,
he's not in chat.
Better to wall off yourself than your teammates, because at least
Yeah, that's true. At least his teammates managed to get out of there. He was basically the sacrifice. He was the one left behind. The guy in the movie that has to close the door before the aliens come or something like that.
Yep. All right. Let's see where we sit. The side of Elysium is sitting on a 6,000 gold lead, just about. We said CS disparities across the board, most heavily in the jungle. The latest in a 135 CS to Total Todd's 88.
I mean, I don't really mind it because Total Todd is playing a Volibear, and he's not really the farming type, right? So he wants to be able to do ganks, make leads early for his team. Unfortunately, just not working out completely. I think he definitely could have abused the bot lane more.
Careful, you just stepped up a bit too far there. Nice stun by Cartson, followed up by the fireball. Bladen will secure the kill.
Yeah, there's a lot of range on the side of Elysium, and they were able to make use of it. There's not respecting. Only they're not really respecting it. I don't think he realized how much damage this Shyvana can do. You never expect that much of damage from the Shyvana. Yep. She just Qs you and you're dead. Suddenly half your health bar is gone.
It's like you know the fireball. Like you've heard the stories. You know the fireball does a lot of damage. And then it actually comes out, and you're just like, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's very unassuming, the amount of damage he does. Because honestly, in my mind, Shyvana's still an AD champion.
Yep. All right, we're going to see some action come out. Total Todd is brought very low. I'm going to likely polish him off right here. Yes,
okay, 1v5, here we go.
So far, Aimi literally 1v5ing in the jungle once again. Coming through, will find a second kill, force to flash away defensively. Agent Trash trying to stay on top of him. You will find the kill. It's the Silas coming through this time. literally a 1-for-1 so far. Paladin comes in with the dragon form and the fireball. Asian Trash trying to stay on the back line will find the kill onto Carson, trying to follow up on Eddie. Life form disintegration ray will be enough to protect himself, and the Vel'Koz will survive. That's Paladin wreaks some havoc in Kronic's own back line. I think that was a 3-for-3 across the board.
Yeah, and that was also 4v5. That was also 4v5. Look at Bear Blue. You're just chilling down there in the bot lane, getting further and further ahead on the stretch. Already finished his Kraken Slayer. Building towards that Phantom Dancer, I would assume. Because he does have to get off dodge from a lot of abilities, and Shyvana has to get out there. I don't think they're going to be able to catch him. Paladin can just wait. They're going to be able to catch him. They're going for him. Teleport.
Going in, will use the ultimate, lands the stun, but it's a teleport. And who is it? It is the one person you do not want to see. Aimi Furukawa on that Mordekaiser looking to make something happen. Paladin just trying to get away from this Volibear, but it's not going to be enough. Will fall. There's a big bounty going over. But meanwhile, Aimi has taken down only Dill. Aimi will take down OB Seagull, trying to finish off Nova Hyper as well. We'll get the kill. But it's the Kog'Maw passive putting an end to his ambitions. But he found the kill on Nova Hyper at the... Oh, no. Never mind, I was thinking about the jungler. Oh! Okay. Yes, he finds 3 kills, but Toto Todd comes in. Not able to get the kill, as it will be OB Seagull, at least picking up a heavy bounty with the use of his Ekaten Surprise.
That's Infernal Soul going on over to the side of Elysium while all that chaos is happening.
This is a reckless play.
A very optimistic play, I think is the word for it.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
So Asian tried to go for the 1v3. Fortunately, did not work out. Maybe if he'd not gotten stunned, but there's just so much CC on the side of Elysium. Now, talking more about that 1v3, I think Aimi kind of trolled his jungler there by tossing the Volibear onto the Shyvana. I think he should have tossed him away while Shyvana gets away from the side, but he still gets all the kills needed. That's still basically a 2v4 that they managed to win, or at least it was a fair victory. For the side of for the side of Kronic, unfortunately, it was only Total Todd to survive that. Asian tried to see what he can do down there in the Dragon Pit. Not able to do much, and I assume right now Elysium will want to be turning towards that Baron because they now have the Infernal Soul and the game lead, and possibly they could end the game right here if they want to.
And just the sheer zoning capability of the side of Elysium here. You have a Mordekaiser, you can press R on anybody who steps up. You have a Vel'Koz and an Anivia. They're going to have full control over these objective pits. And really, even if Kronic wanted to, I would say that it's like they don't want to step up, but they have to. Because, look at the state of the game.
I feel like at this stage of the game, you should be able to step up. But they just don't have the gold right now to be able to, weather sort of the storm, so to speak. The snowstorm of the Anivia, the amount of damage that this Mordekaiser can do is just so hard right now. They don't have the gold to be able to fight. And if you have the late game scaling comp,
Wild Growth
there's also
forced out early.
Yeah, okay. The Siege coming out, and they should be uncontested unless they want to go for a final hurrah on the side of...
Dark Harvest, 2 stacks and almost 2 kills with that single ability there. Well, technically 2 from Paladin. Stepping forward, does he have another charge ready to go? Yes, let's just use on the minions. Asian Trash, you don't want to take this, not yet.
Yeah, immediate retreat from the bot lane of Kronic. That's gotta feel bad. Just don't have the health to be able to survive that kind of thing. And Kog'Maw has a wit's end. He should be able to survive a lot, have some magic resist, but it just doesn't matter. The Shyvana is so far ahead.
Because you have 5 people who do magic damage. The wit's end is not enough.
Yeah, basically, pretty much, honestly. I would say, Elysium, guys, probably step away from the full magic damage god in the future because that can get punished. Yeah. But right now it's doing wonders. Oh, wait, going in.
So early. Call the Forge God. This could be the end of it. Oh, we're hearing the Death Drum now, I think. Okay, that's going to be a kill over for Total Todd. He finds the kill on Eddie. Amy is very low. Paladin trying to lock up Nova Hyper will find the double kill. Amy still staying alive. Barely survives the kill. Or the fight against OB Seagull. And able to heal back and survive the passive as well. A quadra kill for Paladin on the Shyvana.
Oh, man. I think they could have...
end of the line here for the side of Kronic.
Yeah. It looks like this is it. I think that was a fight that Kronic could have won, actually, but The Kog'Maw, unfortunately, once the Zonias was popped by Mordekaiser, chose to not step back and kite away and fire from the backline. Instead, he was right up there, right in front. Mordekaiser is able to Q him. He does have enough sustain. Wait.
Trash gets deleted.
Yeah, there we go. So solid 2-0 victory. GGWP in the chat. Really good stuff from Elysium. Very dominating victory coming from them. And it's just superior skirmishing coming from the red side. It was there were some glimpses of brilliance, I'd say, in the early game coming from Kronic, but they're just not able to pull it over the line once the skirmishes start breaking out. Possibly that's something they can improve on. Make sure that they always have to have the numbers advantage if they're on the field, because the tempo's on their side. They're getting good kills in the early game. Unfortunately, it's just not translating whenever they decide to take a fight.
Yep. Yeah. I think that we literally saw that visualized in that Dragon Pit fight there at the start of game 2. We got 3 kills early on the board, then you go down to take that fight, but you are not lined up correctly in the front to back you want, and you pay for it dearly. And from then, it was just off to the races for Elysium.
Yeah, pretty much. They took the advantage there after the Dragon fight and basically just ran with it when Kronic... It looked like it was Kronic's game, honestly, with that early game that they was able to get. They just had to play it safe, play it slowly. But as I said, I think that Dragon fight was the turning point for them. And fortunately, Elysium, they're a team that knows how to snowball, it seems. And especially this Mordekaiser, definitely not something you want to trifle with. Possibly other teams will want to be looking out for that, because Aimi is very scary on the pick.
Yep. Aimi Furukawa, I'm sure you and I both agree that Aimi was the MVP of the series. It's not always about who gets the most kills and everything, but, it's just the sheer amount of pressure able to be exerted and absorbed by Aimi in both of those games. I think I really
shout out to the jungler though.
Shout out to junglers and Kartson in that first game, working to get your top laner in that dominant position.
Yeah, basically, I wanna list all of the top side of Elysium for MVP. They did a really good job working together super well. Honestly, as a team, the bot side, you have a sub, so definitely not as practice, I'd have to say, but they were able to put off pressure on their own too. Twitch and Vel'Koz were actually ahead of the Kog'Maw Lulu, which I'm really surprised by. But I guess fighting against a mage support, if you're not completely experienced with it, it can be a bit of a pain to deal with. Hopefully, Kronic eventually they'll take this as a learning experience and get better and better. That's what I hope from everyone in the freshman league, that they'll get better and better working together as a team, learning how to play the game, the fundamentals and stuff like that. Knowing when you have priority and are able to take the first move, knowing when you have tempo, stuff like that. And things should get better than here.
Yep. Only way to go is up for the side of the Kronic Wheels. The Elysium Esports will even up their record 1-1 and bag some points for House Infernal. So congrats to them. At the very least, we saw some signs of life from Kronic Wheels in the early stages of the game. We'll just have to see if they can solidify any sort of leads they can take then and carry it into the mid game and bring it even further in that late game. That's going to be it for us here on Friday night, freshman night, here at Runeterra Academy. This is week 2 of the regular season. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at the same place, at the same time, 8 o'clock Eastern PM for the Sophomore League, as We're Testable will take on TD Blaze. So be sure to tune in for that. My name is Tajgar, Taj for short, joined on the desk, as usual, by the amazing Miles David. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We hope we'll see you tomorrow night, and we wish you a very good night tonight.